What's going on? Time for another review. The words of a friend of mine for my toy box. So we're going to do Future Foundation Spider-Man, the variant. The Future Foundation Spider-Man looks just like this guy, except reverse color, mainly white with black. The articulation on this guy, I don't know. Put it mildly, it sucks. So, I mean, could be a whole lot better. I think if you're going to do Spider-Man, he shouldn't be this buff, or if he's this buff, I mean, that's fine, but, you know, his articulation should be a little bit better. You should be able to do a little bit more with him, and I wasn't blown away by this figure. So, they definitely used one of the newer molds. I think this mold is going to be based off of the, might be the Daredevil. It has some of the same articulation, some of the same build. So overall on the paint, I'll just give you a close up here on the head, and then you can see there on the body and the legs. They did good with paint, so it's really detailed. They made sure they got all the stripes, and you can see on the outside of the arm here. And then if you look underneath, on the bottom of his arm, he's got more detail underneath there. And then there's his back. This might make a good custom for somebody that wants to do maybe maybe a smaller Venom or something, you know, Jack with his face or something. But that's really it. And when I say it, do a Venom, I'm meaning the new Venom from the revamp that I did. So let's get into the articulation real quick. The head obviously does a full 360. He looks up a decent amount. See if you can see that. He looks down okay. It's about as far down as he goes. Let's see from another view, and that's about how far up he goes. Which is great, but I'll show you what my problem with him is it's Spider-Man, and he can't really bend over, but, you know, that far. So what I really wish is that they could take this smaller figure and kind of like with the Legends, how they have that, not the ab crunch like this, but it's that joint, the two lines that's on a little swivel, so that way he can look further forward. If they did that with this figure, it'd make him a whole lot better. He does have a waist swivel here, and he has this little ab crunch, but it really limits how far down he can go. So I just wish they would change that up a little bit. It would be nice to maybe just see something similar to the Legends when it comes to the ab area, just so you can, you know, look further down. To give you an example, you see how this figure has this type of ab crunchability. So, and you can see those lines in there, how he has this kind of ab crunch. Well, if they did that, then just gave him a little bit more flexibility in a joint like that on this figure, I think that would be kind of cool, but they'd have to probably retool or redo or make a completely different mold. So for what this is, I mean, it's a good figure to have. As far as the legs go, you know, he goes up forward really far, or decently far, but when he goes back, you can kind of see how it's at an angle. It doesn't really go back right. Then on the inside there, you can kind of see how it's on that little peg. So what I don't like about it is you can't go out to the side. It won't go out to the side at all unless you want to break it. So it's got the swivel here at the hip. You've got double jointed knees, and then you've got a swivel here at the calf. His foot goes back about that far, which is great, and then he goes up that far. Sorry about the allergies, guys. My nose is killing me. And he has an ankle pivot. which is like awesome, and it has a ridiculous ankle pivot. I mean, so you can still get him into a dynamic pose, but you're just not going to be able to get him into that famous pose where he's crouched down, kind of hunched over, or anything like that in a what I would consider a really good spider pose or a spidey pose. And the other thing on him is on his hands. You can see one hand here is a fist, and I'm not sure how I feel about the inside of his hands being white. That's kind of odd. So I really didn't understand that. I mean, I think they should have just made it all black right there. I might go in and fix it, or they should have just hollowed that out. I'm not sure if they really intended it to be that way or what the deal is, but it's just kind of weird. Then you can see here on his other hand, it is hollowed out, so he can hold on to something. So, but there's nothing for him to really hold on to. I guess maybe if you want him to hold on to a ledge on something, but other than that, he comes with the basic web action thing that you clip onto his arm, and it looks like it's supposed to be shooting out. I really think that they need to give him something different. I mean, something that's going to be better than the backpack or that stupid web that he shoots out. That he just makes something a little better for this guy. And I don't know. I feel like they are just re-releasing tons and tons and tons of Spider-Man and Iron Man, and they're just basically repaints, or they're just throwing it onto a new mold or reusing somebody else's mold, but they're not really doing a whole lot with focusing on how to improve this figure, make him more articulated. I mean, granted, we got one with the Spider-Man line that they put out for the movie, but I would like to see maybe them use that into one of these, turn this, into what that is with the articulation and the flexibility that it has. Just saying, I mean, that's what people want. They want a Spider-Man that's articulated, that's flexible, not a Spider-Man that's stiff and you can't do a whole lot with. I mean, granted, you can still get some poses out of him, but it's just, you're not going to get as much as you want. Is he a must-have? I think if, you're a Marvel fan and you like Spider-Man, he's a must-have. The paint job alone on him is pretty decent, so I give him about an 8 out of 10. Well, like 7.7 out of 10. Mainly because the paint job's great. I do like the size of the Spider-Man. I just wish he was more flexible, so I took off for that. And aside from that, I mean, he's a variant, so he's not really essential. You're not going to see this costume in the comic books. There is the single-carded Future Foundation Spider-Man, which I'll pick him up, and for me that's going to be essential since I have the 3-pack for the Future Foundation to make the whole team. So I'll get him here pretty soon. I need to make a trip to Toys R Us when they get their delivery in, and I'll do some more reviews for you guys. But that's really it. So make sure you comment, you subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this figure. If you think that it's worth getting, it's in the 2-pack. And the other figure that comes with him in the 2-pack is Dr. Doom. So, and I like Dr. Doom with this costume. They're going to be releasing the 6-inch scale Marvel Legends version of him. But as far as I know, he's not a part of the Future Foundation, so I don't know. I haven't really kept up on all the comics for Future Foundation or the Fantastic Four, so I might have to look into it. I mean, I think it's cool. It's just basically a repaint. But it's a Toys R Us exclusive, and I think the 2-pack for this guy came in an abundance. And I went back the other day, and they were all gone. I'm sure some scalper got them, but it's a Toys R Us exclusive. They'll get more in, and I mean, pick them up, see what you think, but make sure you leave some comments and tell me what you guys feel about this figure and what you'd like to see different on it. I mean, maybe Hasbro is listening and they'll take and try to give us something a little bit better, which I'm not going to complain too much because they are giving us some new stuff this year, with She-Hulk and things, with some new molds. So I don't know, kind of excited to see what they're going to do. To me though, this figure, this body mold should be used for somebody else though, maybe not so much Spider-Man. Just saying. Alright, appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, thumbs up, appreciate it.